Hey guys, I know no one's on here. I've never done a live before. I have no expectations. Just kind of me on here, um, talking about grief, and this is just. I see a lot of people come on YouTube and or any other platform, and they kind of find it a little therapeutic to talk about things that are happening in their life. And so, anyway, I just figured that I would come on here and do the same. Um, I am from Birmingham, Alabama. Um, been living here all my life, and not gonna prolong the story or anything like that. But I am an illustrator here in Birmingham. Have been drawing over, gosh, it's been a long, long time. I've been drawing forever. So, um, but within the last year, my father he passed away unexpected. None of us saw it coming. Um, it's a total of five of us between my siblings and I. I have two sisters and it's three boys all together. My dad and my mom were married for 43 years. She was with him ever since she was 16 years old. Um, so they were together a very long time. She is heartbroken. I want to say all of us are. Um, and he was my mom's caretaker. So my mom has been sick for, she was sick for quite some time. She went through a lot. You know, um, even herself, she would say that she thought that it would probably be her before him. And I wouldn't want to say that. I didn't want any of my parents. I just wasn't ready for it. I am 40 years old, just turned 40. I am now in that stage of life where we go through these uncomfortable um, situations. And um, anyway, I just wasn't ready for it. But yeah, he died unexpectedly. Um, and I am having a very difficult time processing grief. Um, it's totally, I'm sure, totally normal. I just I have not been able to snap back. He passed February 18th of 2023, and I was in a relationship at the time. My relationship ended um, a month after he passed, so that in itself was difficult for me. It's still difficult for me. Um, and then just moving on right after that, it's just been hard. So I was working at this job as a sales manager. I'm gonna just say it was Burlington. I was there for 2 years. Um, I took the leave after my father passed. My boss was very nasty and very rude to me a week after he passed, trying to rush me back to work. Um, I was still trying to process everything. I just was not ready to come back. Needless to say, she was just like, "When are you going to think about Burlington? When are you going to think about this job? When are you going to think about us?" And I'm just like, you know, I know you probably don't care about your family or your loved ones, but I actually do. And I cussed her out. I did. Not even gonna lie, I let her have it because I was just in that place at that time where I just felt like, give me that time. And that's what happens a lot of times in these workplaces. A lot of these employees, they will hire you on, and then they just expect you to not have any real things going on in your life. I work for that company. When I tell you, I had their back. I was a manager over there, like I said. Everybody would go up to me, anything they need. I was the favorite boss. put it like that. Everybody came to me for everything. Any issues, we're going to go to Chris, because they knew that I would take care of the situation. But, and even my boss knew that, because when she took time away from when she was sick for almost an entire month with over 100+ degrees temperature or fever that she had, we looked out for her. We made sure she had everything that she needed. We took care of the store for her. But anything that I needed, she didn't care. But whatever, that time is over and done with. I went over to my next job, which I want to say, just to backtrack. The reason I knew that my time was up with that job, and I don't know if that was just God just telling me, hey, it's time to leave. I kid you not. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to go work. This is before I cussed her out. On my way to my job, my car broke down. This is immediately, I had not had any car issues, nothing. This was like a week after my father passed. And this was me going back to my job and my car broke down. Making a long story short, it was a starter issue. That was a sign for me that it was time for me to go. On top of that, this company was stealing money. They were going in, altering the payroll so that we would not get a certain amount of hours. You know how companies do on this job when they're trying to shave back payroll. Well, she was shaving back payroll and taking hours from us that we had actually worked. So needless to say, karma will come for you. And I'm not even going to say your name on this video, but karma is going to come for you, and you know who you are. You know the evil stuff that you did on this job to a lot of people, and it's going to come back and it's going to bite you in your ass. And that just goes to, not even my situation. Whatever you do to people, it's going to come back. You're not getting away with it, I promise you. You can go around here and treat people like garbage. I can guarantee without a shadow of a doubt, whatever you sow in this realm, you will reap it. If you place down good seeds, you're going to get good seeds back. So, I went over, on to my next job. I've done so much, y'all. I've built cars. I've worked for banks. I've worked for the airport. I've done it all. So I have experience in all areas. Call centers, banks, like I said, retail stores. I was a gym manager for 6 years. I've done it all. So I went over to the next job, and it was at TJ Maxx. They hired me. She wanted to hire me in as a manager because somebody was going to step down, but make a long story short, that didn't happen. They were just trying to get me in the door, and that's what they did. So I just came in as a cashier lead, which my job was just to basically upsell. I didn't have any issues with that job. TJ Maxx, I love it. I just like to shop there. But it just wasn't for me, and I started to notice that the more and more people that came through my checkout line or anything like that, I kind of was a little irritable. And I know I was still processing and still grieving the loss of my father. So you couldn't say anything to me fly at that time. You couldn't even look at me wrong. If anything was just, if I felt any type of way because I was in that place, I didn't argue with people. I didn't take my anger out on people. I just quit the job. Y'all, I've probably quit about 4 or 5 jobs within a year. And that's bad for me because I've never in my life done that. But something my attention span is very short. My patience is very short. Became irritable. Still a nice guy, but I just don't want to deal with crazy people. Went on, quit that job. Well, I actually didn't quit. I told him I got another job, and I ended up becoming a leasing agent at a apartment complex in Homewood, Alabama. Which I don't know if I said I am from Birmingham, Alabama. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I took a job over there as a leasing agent. For me to have never done leasing, I was leasing apartments with no experience. And when I tell y'all, if y'all ever get into leasing and you really get into leasing, you can make a lot of money. I made over $1,200 extra in addition to my check in a month with no experience. The people who were working in the office didn't even have the skill level that I had. But you know what? I could always talk to people. I have a very good attitude. And even if I didn't know what I was talking about, people would still buy from me. I just sound believable. And that's with anything. Like, if you can, it don't matter what it is. If you can, you don't even have to know what you're talking about. But if people believe that you know what you're talking about, they will buy into it. I was doing really well in that position until some employees came into the office and they were fighting. I have no idea why they were fighting. They went down by the pool area while I was on a tour and they were fighting. One guy took a brick and went upside another guy's head. And it was blood all outside. It was so much going on. He was trying to kill the other guy. I was like, you know what? I can't deal with it. And y'all, when I tell you, like, everybody processes grief differently. Again, I just could not be around anything related to drama. I couldn't, because I just wasn't. I'm still like that now. I just can't be around it. Like, I can't explain it. I just can't be around it. So anyway, I quit. The boss called me and was just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you quit. Please come back. I mean, for you to have no experience, I really want you to be in this field. You're going to make a lot of money, blah, blah, blah." I came back like an idiot. So come back. I have a really good friend of mine that I met at the job. She was being mistreated by management as well. Somehow I got wrapped up into that because I'm a caring, concerning person. And I don't know. But we had residents that were coming in that were angry. We had just so much drama in the office. And like I said, I'm really good with when it comes to calming down people, talking to people, whatever. But we had a situation where this guy comes in and he was upset because his rent was missing. He said he paid his rent. The company didn't have record of him making a payment. So he comes into the office with a gun. And he looked at my coworker and he was staring at me. As he had his hand on his gun, he says that I will shoot you MFers if you don't find my rent money. Now, we had nothing to do with it. We just take the payments, we put it in an envelope, we take it to the office. The leasing manager lost the rent money. Not us. We did our job. But the fact that he made a threat made me so concerned. My coworker was just very upset. She was shaking. So we get up and we go and we tell the manager, hey, the leasing manager said, hey, this guy comes into the office with a gun. He's very aggressive, and I think that he's going to come back, and I think that he's going to shoot. She says, oh, guys, You guys are exaggerating. Nothing's going to happen. He's just getting you guys riled up. People do this type of stuff all the time. One thing about me is I listen. Listen, no matter what you do in life. And one thing that I have learned, you always, and I used to have issue with it, but if you hear something in your head, a little voice in your head that tells you to question it or to get up and look, or you hear that voice in your head, you do it. You don't second guess it. If it came to your mind, God sends us signals and he sends us messages and he warns us about certain things. I learned that a long time ago, that when God tells you something, you listen. It's crazy because my phone lit up and this picture comes up, which is a picture of my parents, by the way. I know you guys probably can't see it. I drew that, by the way. I'm an illustrator, which I'll talk about that on another time. My phone lit up, which was crazy. I'm like, why is my phone lighting up just randomly? So I go to the front and I see the guy pulling off. And I said, you know what, guys, we should probably lock these doors because something ain't right. So they lock the doors at the front. The girl is just my coworker, she's still distraught. I said, well, let me get in my car because I'm curious to see where this guy goes. Y'all, I get in my car, and as I was driving, I saw the guy running back to the office. He had 2 guns in his pocket at this point, running back to the office. I said, oh my God. I call over to the office and I said, hey, that guy that just left out of there with the gun, he's running back to the office. And I think he's going to shoot. People were just screaming. Chaos erupts in the office. People were screaming. I heard all this on the phone. Mind you, I'm still driving to hurry up and get back to the office to make sure the doors are locked, make sure everybody's okay. At this point, the entire Homewood SWAT team surrounds Homewood Police Department, swarms the apartment complex. And the guy is just running. He's dipping off through buildings, blah, blah, blah. The police officers meet me. Well, I run into them and I'm like, hey, the guy, I'm seeing this. Like, it's so crazy because nobody could find out where this guy was, but I just happened to be the person to see. The guy's just running through buildings with his guns and everything. So I was like, hey, telling the police, hey, you need to go down here because this is where this guy is at. Make a long story short, they find the guy, but they found 1 gun. The other gun, he chunked somewhere. They found his car parked on a hill, and they found 2 other guns in his car. And no, he wasn't black. That's all I'll say about that. He wasn't black. He wasn't white either. So, and I'm not trying to be funny, but you know, I just felt like I just need to throw it out there. He was not. I don't think that he had papers to be over here. Let's just put it like that. So he really didn't give a damn. They take the guy, they put him in the police car, and then for some reason they drive him up to the office, the front office, and the girl's just so upset. And they're like, hey, you, at this point, if you don't file a police report on this guy, we're going to let him go. And we're looking at the manager like, okay, well, why? First of all, why are we happening to be the ones or why does she have to be the one to file a police report? She's just crying. She's upset. I'm just trying to console her. My boss is just laughing. Guys, I can't believe, thank God I'm off. Thank God I'm off for the rest of the week. And if you guys don't feel safe, you don't have to come in tomorrow, but do what's best for you. This is what she said now. So we go, my friend, she says, okay, we're going to file a police report. They take the guy to jail. We get to the police station and the police officers here in the South are something else. And that's all I'll say about that. But the guy was getting ready to bail out of jail as we were pressing. You know, he could basically bail out immediately because he didn't shoot anybody. And this is an at-will state, so an open carry state. You can carry, and you don't even have to have a license. You can just have a gun. And if you can even pull a gun on somebody and threaten them. But if you don't do anything about it, they're not going to do anything about it. She pressed the charges. I was down there with her as a good friend, a coworker. The next day she gets terminated because the company says, we didn't tell you to press charges against this guy. Mind you, the guy had already bailed out of jail. Before she got fired, he was calling to the office, still threatening the office. But she gets terminated. That was crazy for me. It was just insane. And then, like I said, with everything that was going on with me and the grief situation, y'all, I kid you not, I had been talking to my mom that whole day about Protect the Queen. I even did some artwork called Protect the Queen. If you guys happen to run across this video, you can go to my Instagram page, draw DRAW_SUM_Chris, and you can see my artwork. I did a picture of an illustration of a Black woman, and it said Protect the Queen. But that same day, I had already been saying, like, Mama, we just got to start protecting the queens. We got to start, like, Black men here, we got to start doing what we're supposed to do. You know, whether you gay, straight, whatever. It's all of our responsibilities to make sure that the Black woman is protected, to make sure that she is okay, to make sure that she isn't mistreated, and that if we can protect her as much as we can, we need to stand up and do what we're supposed to do as Black men, which that's a whole nother conversation because people aren't doing that. They just aren't. So I end up leaving that job because of so much chaos. I left right after that. I tried to hang around as long as I could. It was just so much drama. It was people coming in, fighting. It was fighting, yes. We had a fight the very next week. It was just, it was a 1-year-old that was just walking around the apartment complex, and the dad had no idea where the baby was. By the time we found out what apartment the baby come out of, the dad was on the couch, just high out of his mind. Had no idea that his child was just walking around outside the apartment complex. I left that job. I quit because I just was like, again, I'm still in the process of grieving, depression, setting. I have my highs and my lows. Like, I can be okay, like, throughout the day. And then just the thought of my dad, because my dad, what's crazy, you probably won't hear this a lot from a lot of guys, but my father was in my life, and I talked to him every day. I did. And so that part has been very difficult for me because I can't reach out to him. Even for simple stuff like oil changes, or just questioning about my tires on my car, or just anything car related. Y'all, I'm so ignorant when it comes to anything in relation to anything to do with a car. I'm stupid with it. Like, I don't get it. So my dad was always my go-to person for that. But yeah, like I said, I end up leaving that job, and y'all, the sun is going down. I ended up leaving that job, and I went back to TJ Maxx, and second day I was back at work, I ended up hitting my knee, which knocked a huge gash in my leg. Oh my God, y'all! Even to this day, I still feel it. I quit. I quit that job too because I got injured on the job. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I can't. I just can't. So I quit. And needless to say, I went over to another job, and I just recently quit that too. Sometimes with death, a lot of us who have natural gifts, in this realm, we are pushed to focus more on that. And I've been drawing over 30 plus years, y'all. I released 2 coloring books last year. One called Freaks, which T.S. Madison did a review on it on her live. So I was super thankful for that. And that book actually sold out. And then I did another coloring book, which was released on Amazon, which is called We Outside, which is basically catered to the culture, the Black culture. It's a really cool book. You guys, if you like coloring, if you like stuff like that, go check it out. It's, I'm a really dope artist. So definitely, check it out. If you enjoy coloring books, definitely in your spare time, you would definitely like this book. And when I say it's catered to the culture, you got people dancing in the book. It's catered to the culture. There's some stuff I can't really say about it because it is an adult coloring book, but it's a really cool coloring book, and you guys would certainly enjoy it. But y'all, I just came on here to I'm a natural rambler. I've been rambling now for close to 30 minutes. I don't really anticipate anybody buying this, not buying it, but it's crazy. I don't really anticipate anybody really watching the video because I'm never on YouTube like that. I just wanted to come on here and really talk to myself. This is a I'm still in need of healing in the area of the loss of my father. I'm still struggling every day. Very difficult for me. But if you care, send some well wishes up to the universe for me. And maybe I'll come back on here again and do another video if people care. And if they don't, who cares? This is just for me to just kind of come on here and I don't want to say vent, but just kind of just talk. A lot of my friends have moved on to Atlanta. I'm in Alabama. I don't have a lot of friends. Not that I'm not capable of having them. I learned a long time ago that you don't need to have a lot of friends. I have one good friend. His name is Alvin. We've been best friends forever. Like he's a good friend, and I'm super thankful for him. And then my ex, I'm super thankful for him, Justin. Even though we really haven't been speaking as much, but I do love him still. And unfortunately, we're not in a relationship. But and then my ex-girlfriend Zakia, she's a very good instrument in my life as well. But anyway, guys, maybe I can come on here and talk about some other stuff. I'm a very spiritual person, so I do have a lot of other things that I do want to talk about if you guys are interested, about a lot of, spiritual stuff, or some encounters that I've had with some extraterrestrial beings. I know a lot of people don't believe in that, but maybe we can talk about it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you do watch this video, if not, again, like I said, this is for me. But anyway, I appreciate it. Have a good one.